Hello again, comic book lovers. I'm Wild Bill from Comic Book Geezers. Welcome back to another episode, and there's my partner in crime.
I'm Pete. How's everybody doing today?
Today we're going to talk about a villain, Thanos.
That's right.
This is our Thanos episode, so welcome aboard.
So not only are we going to talk about some classic issues and storylines of this iconic villainous character, but we're also going to do a review of the Avengers
movie. So
Infinity
it's all
War.
Thanos involved today.
That's right.
This episode, Thanos first appeared in Iron Man issue 55. This book is hard to get a hold of now, or I should say price-wise.
Yeah. How many of you casual fans might actually even have this issue and forgot that this was the introduction of then a very minor character who then became, obviously...
He just spiraled out of control in terms of popularity over the years. I don't think he really got popular until the last decade, but I'd like to take the liberty of opening this book.
Would you say that Thanos now, or in the last couple decades, is basically the #1 Marvel villain? Probably close.
He's taken over. He's a Titan, so he's got a lot of power.
Yep.
But for those of you who remember the first appearance of Wolverine in Hulk 180, it's kind of the same thing here with Thanos.
And this is also noteworthy. We've got Drax the Destroyer here, who eventually becomes a Guardian of the
servant
Galaxy. Yeah,
for Thanos.
Right.
Kind of like the Silver Surfer with Galactus.
Yes.
Right? But when they show Thanos, right? All right.
There's his boot. I think that's the first appearance right there.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. So here you go. Which is kind of like reminiscent of Wolverine, which they do a couple years later.
So that's him down there, stepping on Iron Man's...
Right here.
Digits.
And...
you might as well show him the next page, because it's the first full-length view of him. It looks a little different.
Yeah.
And who did the artwork on this issue, Bill? Is this,
what we got there? Right here? Jim Starlin.
Of course. Forever tied to this character, right? So Jim Starlin basically was the guy who created Thanos as well as Drax the Destroyer.
I say Thanos.
Thanos, you know.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato. But how kind of cool that he first appeared in Iron Man.
I'm looking for other action shots. So...
Yeah, I think that's his lone,
And these guys are the Blood Brothers, aren't they?
Blood Brothers, yeah.
The Blood Brothers are in a lot of Iron Man issues later on in the 90s, issue 90s, that is. Okay, so I'm flipping through the action. And then we have a commercial page coming up. All right,
they're going at it there.
So Iron Man actually gets over on him, gets a land a shot on Thanos' jaw, but he's a Titan.
Yeah.
So his power is
kaboom.
These full page shots are just amazing.
Yeah, they don't do that stuff anymore.
You know, that's just really good artwork right there. And whoa, that was the end. Did I miss something?
I guess so.
Maybe I did. No, I just showed. Yeah, that's.
Till next issue, boys and girls.
But Thanos doesn't show up in the next issue.
No, he kind of goes away for a little bit, but he returns. So
he was a character that obviously survived in the Marvel Universe. Here's another example of Thanos in Warlock 11. If you've been watching every one of our episodes in our early stages of Comic Book Geezers, I made a blooper and referred to Thanos being on issue 10, which was a mistake. And I'm sorry.
He's there.
It really is an issue 11. And in this twist of fate, now, Thanos actually teams up with Warlock to fight together. So he's actually an ally.
Jim Starlin again. So that's going to be a popular theme here.
Now, Pete made a very good point about the movie that just came out last year, the Avengers Infinity War, that there's no Warlock character in that storyline, and he should belong in there.
Epic fail. He's so tied to the whole storyline.
Thanos. So Thanos was pretty much a badass, and for being a Titan, which is one step below a god. So which kind of explains the Infinity War about him wanting to become a god by getting all those stones for that gauntlet so that he can rule the universe.
Dreaded Infinity Stones.
So they have some really good artwork here. Thanos again.
Pip the Troll. Yeah, Pip the Troll. Warlock's little buddy.
Yeah?
Yep.
Show me where.
Right there.
This guy?
Pip the Troll. He's a cool little cigar-smoking troll. He was a character.
He kind of looks like your other hero, the Wood God.
Wood God, yeah, exactly.
Who else?
You know, at the time, these Jim Starlin creations with Warlock and Captain Marvel were just totally like above and beyond anything else that Marvel was doing. Such like complex stories.
He's a very good artist.
Yeah, very good artist, very good storyteller.
Even the Cat, an issue, was only four issues. He did some artwork on that.
Yep.
Who later became, what, Tigra?
Yes. That's correct.
Here's Thanos duking it out. But it's unusual for a villain to team up with another hero.
Yeah.
So they had a common goal. I read this like 2 years ago, so I don't remember. And I did not do my homework before I started this issue taping. But Thanos is heavily involved in this issue of Warlock.
Yep.
And Warlock only ran 18 issues before he was canceled.
That's right.
But he was
predating this by maybe about a year, right? So this was 20 cents his first appearance, and these are 25 cents. So not too long after his appearance in Iron Man.
What year did we got down there? It's probably 75.
75, yeah,
or
76.
76?
Hold on. Let me put the glasses on. I can't see.
It might be 76 because they didn't go to
76.
Yeah, because they didn't go 30
Oh,
cents.
no. It says here 1975, then February 76. So copyright 75. Well, whatever.
So it was made in 75, but this is a 76 issue because
so probably February 76.
February 76 is when this was released, but they always wrote and published them 3 months ahead of time.
Yep.
And they didn't go to 30 cents until September of 76. My memory serves me right.
So in saying that,
And I just did.
Yeah. Before you pull that up, because that's part of this whole thing, this next section. So
spit it out.
Before that storyline with Warlock and Thanos kind of teaming up in this this is basically a continuation of what happened in the Captain Marvel run. So Jim Starlin did, what was it, like 8, 9 issues, Bill, 10, something like that. I don't remember exactly how many. Jim Starlin and Captain Marvel.
He did at least 10.
At least 10, right? Yeah, so like from the early 20s into the early 30s.
Show off the Evil Knievel back.
Oh yeah, you got to, right? Because no video games back then.
No.
It's toys.
And I had this. This was awesome. Did you have this?
Yeah.
I had the bike.
Yeah.
That thing was awesome, man.
You had to have it, right?
It was great.
So here we got Captain Marvel number 26, all right? So the first appearance in Captain Marvel, and there he is up in the corner.
Thanos.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So this started this whole other storyline.
Hard book to get, expensive book to get a hold of now because of the popularity of moves, and I hate when that happens.
I know.
This is a good
This
cover.
is a war on Titan, okay, involving the Super Skrulls and Thanos.
Jim Starlin artwork. Look at that.
It's awesome. And Thanos' brother
I paid
and
a
father.
pretty penny for this book, man.
Yeah, these are expensive now.
Yeah.
Since they released the movie, or even before they released the movie.
I got this at a con last year, and it cost me, but I needed it.
And
then
he's got the next one, which is...
This is awesome. We
I
don't have
don't have this
23, but this is issue 28, which is another one hard to get a hold of.
There he is.
My comic guy Paul out there, we did a... If you watch our episode where we went behind the counter at a con, Paul, our comic vendor, Paul hooked me up with this when I picked up The Death of the Green Goblin. He threw me a bone. And thank you, Paul. This book is incredibly beat up. The cover is detached, but at least I have it.
Great to have, yeah.
You know, I really hate taking this book out of the bag. It was a good read, but it was a delicate situation to keep it together.
Yep.
But anyway.
It's 28, right? So
That's
29. Continuing the storyline. Great cover, another great Starlin cover.
Thanos is in here?
He is.
I have this one. Oh, we've shown it off before. Come on, keep coming up.
Here, the Controller. So actually the Controller was kind of working with or for Thanos, right? And Thanos gets pissed off at him because he obviously doesn't defeat Captain Marvel. So that didn't kind of go his way. This is probably one of my favorite covers of all time. I know I say that all the time, but this is definitely in my top 5.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, this is...
You like that cover?
I love this cover. It's like they're him and the Defenders, and that's, I forget his name, but that's...
I like issue 33 coming up, which I've shown off before. We used to do a thing, when we first started the show, we used to end with a thing called favorite covers.
Yep.
And I popped this one up.
How can you not?
Yeah, this was the first of my Captain Marvel ever in my collection when I was a teenager.
A pretty damn good one to have as a first one.
Yeah, well, I think I've told the story before about Tony was a guy, a friend of the family. He was 10 years older than me. He had this awesome Marvel Comics collection. And he was like, you can go through my closet and sort them out. You find any doubles, help yourself. And he had a double of that. I was like, cool. You know, Captain Marvel. I thought Captain of Marvel Comics. I didn't know who Captain Marvel was. difficult character to explain.
That's right.
But a great storyline. And there's Thanos.
There he is on the side.
Yeah. And there's Rick Jones.
Rick Jones, yep. And you got Drax below.
Drax down below. He's in a lot of Captain Marvel issues.
And this was kind of like the end of the whole storyline. So here we have Nitro.
Who kind of is the next villain taking over?
Yeah. So this is Jim Starlin's way out, obviously.
Is that his
I believe it's
grand finale?
Yeah, it's the last one.
Okay.
Sadly.
Yeah.
But, you know, a memorable run. And I also, before we get into the films, because the film is based kind of on this storyline here, which is the Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet. So this is...
So that's the 6 issues comprised into one graphic novel? Is that what you got there?
Yeah, and these were done... This was in the 80s, right? So
yeah, 86 or 87 it came out?
Yeah, something like that.
I had a chance to buy issue 2 last year at a flea market, but I didn't because I was like, what's... I need the other 6, so I just passed on it.
So what's missing, guys? So you're looking at this. If you've seen the films and you're looking at this, if you haven't read any of these,
is that Warlock in the center?
Look at some of these characters that do not show up in the film. So you got, you know, Wolverine, Warlock, Silver Surfer, you know, quite a few. You know, Submariner. You know, obviously Marvel had to kind of take some shortcuts.
Can I interrupt? I don't see any Black Widow in there. Is she in there?
She may be on the front. I don't know. She's got to be around here somewhere.
Is she on the front? I don't know.
She might be.
But she's in the movie. And I didn't know who she was, and I'm going to tell you why a little bit later. So let's see what you got there.
So one more. So here is the this book is called The Avengers versus Thanos. So this actually puts together a lot of the different issues throughout the history of Marvel that included this great character fighting the Avengers or Captain Marvel or Warlock or Iron Man. So if you'll go through the back, I don't know.
They show the covers.
A lot of the covers of some of these great issues. So, you know, we can sit.
And where'd you get this?
I picked this up, you know, at Barnes & Noble. This is
all right.
This is worth having. So you'll see a lot of the same covers that we've just been showing you. Yeah. So this is, if you want a great volume that puts together the entire history of this conflict, this is the one to get. Really, in fact, if you want to take it and borrow, read it, because it's actually it gives a great history of the whole storyline.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And you can blow through it pretty quickly. So yeah, you'll see, you know, Daredevil's in there. It's really, really cool.
So it's in color.
Yep.
Ah, nice.
So really, you know, what we showed today only really scratched the surface. There are a lot of other issues that contain Thanos in this.
And I think as time went on, in the last decade, they've done a lot. He has his own book now, doesn't he?
I think so, yeah. They've done all sorts of stuff with him over the last, 10, 20 years.
And it's all...
Especially lately. I mean, if you go into a comic shop or a bookstore and you go to the graphic novel section and you just go to the Avengers section or whatever, there's a ton of books that have shown that culminate all of the different series that have involved this character in his battles with the superheroes.
So let's talk about the movie.
Let's talk about the movie. So, you know, obviously Marvel's been doing. They did 2 Avengers movies, and at the end of each one of those Avengers movies, in the special scenes, you would get these glimpses of.
I need this one.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
That's number 9.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I have the first 8 issues of Warlock. And by the way, we're going to do a Warlock episode someday.
Yes, we will.
So stay tuned for that. So back to the movie. I'm sorry I digress. I go off on a tangent.
So this is the film. This is the Blu-ray. We're going to talk about the film and the Blu-ray because they're both pretty fantastic, I think.
What's the difference?
Well, we'll talk about have you watched any of the specials? I mean, I haven't seen any.
I didn't watch the behind the scenes. I watched the movie.
There's all sorts of cool stuff on it. As you know, most of these Blu-rays, they have a wealth of
I thought you were going to tell me like a different ending or
something. No. So the first 2 Avengers films, you get glimpses of Thanos obviously plotting behind the scenes, and you know we knew 2-3 years ago that he was coming up. So finally, when they released this,
he's here.
Personally, I loved the movie. I thought it was great. It was epic. And they pulled no punches. I mean, there was nothing happy about this movie at all, even right from the very beginning. Remember the first opening scene? He killed, and again, spoilers if you haven't seen the movie. If you haven't, shame on you. But, you know, like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, Loki gets killed, Heimdall gets killed, he beats the shit out of the Hulk, right? And grabs one of the stones, beats the crap out of it, gets Thor all, you know, chained up and what have you, takes his eye. I mean, like in the first 5 minutes of the movie. And you're like sitting there, you're like, holy crap. Because the movie takes place I think about a month after the end of Thor Ragnarok. So, you know, at the end of Thor Ragnarok, when Thor and whoever's left from Asgard are on that ship.
Yeah.
Well, Thanos winds up intercepting the ship, and that's when all hell breaks loose.
Okay.
So, but, you know, this film pulls in the whole Black Panther storyline with Wakanda. They actually have a huge battle on Wakanda.
There's a lot of things about the movie I didn't like. Why is the Hulk? He can't come out.
Yeah, that was a little bizarre.
And then he's in a giant Iron Man suit because he can't turn into the Hulk.
He's in the Hulkbuster suit,
and it's almost as strong as the Hulk, which I didn't get. I didn't like that at all. I think it would have been better if the Hulk was himself.
Which my guess is they're saving that for the second film.
Okay.
They have to, right?
Then they had talked about there was a falling out with the Avengers that they had broken up.
Which we saw in Civil War. So obviously Tony Stark and Steve Rogers.
Are not talking. Steve Rogers, Captain America, doesn't enter the film until later on. And when he shows up, I didn't recognize him because he had a beard, a brown beard. I don't remember Captain America ever having a beard. And
they were laying low for a while because he was
but he had brown hair for facial hair. I figured it would have been blonde, but his hair was blonde. But what threw me off was the black suit. I didn't recognize him. And, because Captain America is traditional red, white, and blue with the white star. He had a black star. Then I realized, hey, this could be Captain Anti-America because of the black star. And he didn't have his shield. He didn't have the shield. He had, these goalie waffles on his wrist, like 2 mini shields, which I thought was kind of cheesy. And his sidekick was some blonde in tight leathers who I never saw before. And then she had a pair of sai on her back as a weapon. And I had no idea who it is, and I'm like, that's probably the Black Widow, but why is she a blonde, and why is she speaking with an American accent? She's from Russia. And where'd she get those pair of sai? Did she take those from Elektra? So there were things that deviated from the comics from the 70s.
They've done that with the Black Widow character from the beginning in the film. She never had an accent. And
no.
They kind of, they always talk about how...
we got to get the younger crowd to like it, but I didn't like it, and I'm the older geezer crowd. Damn it!
Keep things the way they are in the comics.
And you notice Pete likes it, but Pete likes everything. He's pretty easygoing. Pete even likes cooties. Can you imagine that? That threw me for a loop, too. But, it was well done. It was excellent special effects. It's a great storyline. It moves along. And if you've seen it, we're going to ruin it for you. I didn't like how everyone died in the end. It just, and I'm sure that it has something to do with a conclusion. It'll be some kind of wrap-up in the next movie coming along. But it kind of left you with an empty feeling. And friends of mine who have seen it kind of warned me about the ending is kind of hard pill to swallow, which they were referring to all the characters dying,
Yeah, it's brutal.
Including my favorite Spider-Man dying off. And it was like, what the hell? So...
Well, obviously, Doctor Strange, who also I thought was great addition to this film.
Good. He was good.
He obviously, when he went and he started seeing all the visions and what have you, he actually, he's going to play an important part, I think, in the second film. He actually saw the way to beat Thanos and kind of reverse all this. But they had to go through what happened in order for that
to take that chain of events to lead up to the next film.
Vision dying and Spider-Man dying. It's that's not going to stay.
Even Bob died.
Yeah, Bob always dies, right?
Yeah, hasn't made that up. Bob.
But no Hawkeye in this film. Okay?
No Hawkeye.
No Ant-Man or Wasp. So they're going to play a part. And of
no
course,
Warlock. No Silver Surfer.
And you know what? All right, so now let's talk about who was not in this film and who hasn't been in any of these films. And I think a glaring omission. All right. So if you read any of this stuff, all right, you know that a part of the storyline in the comics, the Silver Surfer and Adam Warlock play a huge role in this storyline.
But I would imagine the special effects of both of those characters would be a difficult task. But with the powers of computers and what they can do and what Hollywood can do, they should be able to pull it off.
Yeah. I get the whole thing with the Silver Surfer because that's a rights issue, okay, because with 20th Century Fox. But now that Disney has purchased the rights to the Fantastic Four and X-Men with the purchase of Fox, that should eliminate that in the future, but that won't help the fact that this next movie, which is already shot and everything,
ready to come out.
Yeah,
so there's a good chance they may not be in it.
No, my guess not. However, one character who is going to be in it, if you stayed to watch the extra scene in Avengers Infinity War,
which I did see and I didn't get it, so go ahead and explain.
Okay, so what Nick Fury, who was calling up on the little...
Who's he texting? That's the question.
Captain Marvel.
He is?
Yes.
Is it going to be the female?
It's going to be the female Captain Marvel.
Okay,
so Carol Danvers, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So apparently, and now the Captain Marvel.
And she's going to be in the white suit with the black star on the chest.
Yeah, I believe her suit is going to look just like it's going to look kind of like this.
Oh, really? They're going to stick.
However, I've seen some photographs from the set of the Captain Marvel movie. There's going to be scenes in the movie that are going to take place early in the storyline with her and Jude Law, who's going to play the original Captain Marvel when he had the green and white suit. With the helmet.
Which I always thought kind of reminded me of the villain, the unicorn.
Yeah, exactly. So that film is gonna take place.
And by the way, speaking of Captain Marvel uniforms, this is definitely the better looking uniform than the green and white. And we have done a Captain Marvel episode if you haven't watched.
I like the green and white costume, but it's not like this.
This is better. It's much better.
So apparently what's going to happen, so the Captain Marvel film is coming out in, I think, March, and then like 2 months later, the Avengers 4 movie will be coming out. So that Captain Marvel movie is going to open up a lot of doors for how she is going to play a role in the Avengers movie. And from what I'm understanding, it's going to be a big role. So, because they are actually pushing the Captain Marvel character as being perhaps the most powerful hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, possibly even more than the Hulk or Thor.
Oh, really?
And now, let me tell you something. My favorite scene in the entire film here was near the end where Thor takes that axe and sticks it in Thanos at the end. Yeah. That was a cool scene. It didn't matter at the end.
And it was Groot's arm as the handle?
Yeah.
And I like the guy from Game of Thrones who played the Forger. What was it? Who was that guy?
Oh yeah. The dwarf. Yeah,
he was the one who made the hammer originally for Thor. What was that character's name? I forgot.
He's in the Thor comics. But,
it's not Ulick, but it's But that guy, he had a good role too. It was good. They had a good cast of actors in the movie. But I had some technical difficulties.
Well, and a lot of people did, but I think that's more of not so much just that film, but the whole storyline in general. Going back a couple of years, they've done some glaring omissions and what have you in additions. But
I noticed it. But go ahead.
No, I was going to say, all in all, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it.
I thought they did a good job,
and I am waiting patiently for the next one. So as far as movies coming up, so that the Ant-Man and Wasp Blu-ray just came out, and I didn't have to see that in the theaters, so I'm going to pick that up. I want to watch that. Venom is out in the theaters right now. I do want to see that. I've heard that's pretty good. And you got Aquaman on the DC side coming out right before Christmas, and then we've got in March we've got Captain Marvel, and then May 4th I think it is
the Avengers
sequel.
All right, well that wraps up our Thanos episode of Comic Book Geezers. I'm Wild Bill saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Yep, take care everybody. It's been fun, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.